Hello everybody, how you doing? It's EJ Productions here, and welcome to a brand new reaction video today. But before we get into today's video, I just want to address the elephant in the room. I'm in a whole different space. I am no longer in the squish between closet, or actually in the closet. No homo. And it just got so freaking hot and sweaty just in a freaking steam box trying to like record and get all this content out. And I finally was like, you know what? Winter's upon us. I'll just move my desk area in the bedroom. So here we are now, finally able to make a video for you guys. Today's video, we are going to be watching another SpongeBob conspiracy theory. From what I understand, Mr. Krabs' past life. There's a lot of conspiracy theories surrounding Mr. Krabs, apparently, for the longest time, in almost a decade, about his whole, like, you know, mystery meat, so to speak, for the Krabby Patty formula. With that said, guys, let's get into today's video and see how dark this conspiracy theory is. Let's get into it.
This story is completely false. Krabs was never a chef in the Navy. In fact, Mr. Krabs was never in the Navy. He completely made that story up to escape from his past life. Actually, he's been lying to everyone in town so he doesn't have to go to jail. But that's not the only lie he's been telling to gain something. So join me as we explore the Mr. Krabs theory.
Let's get it. Part 1, Mr. Krabs' pass. Okay, let's see what old Mr. Krabs
Mr. Krabs is the wealthy owner of the Krusty Krab, but apart from owning the restaurant, he's also living a lie. Throughout the show, he's convinced everyone in town that he was a sailor in the Navy before he opened the restaurant. And in the episode Krusty Krab training video, we see that in full action. At the start of the video any new employee would see, Krabs goes on about his past and how he fought in a war before he bought the restaurant.
That was the theory I was actually talking about at the beginning in the intro to this video, that Mr. Krabs was in the war fighting like predatory. I'm not too sure if I'm saying that right. Predatory. They were fighting sea monsters that we would see regular fish. It was the regular fish versus like this type of life because I really don't know what kind of war. That's a whole different other video. But Mr. Krabs was fighting sea monsters, and yeah, basically what I said earlier. This is the theory I was talking about.
Krusty Krab.
After the war, Krabs stayed secluded in a deep depression that seemed endless.
He also talks about his time in the Navy in episodes like Pull Up a Barrel and The Hankering. But in Season 4, Episode 2, Shell of a Man, Mr. Krabs reveals a lot about his Navy days. In the episode, Mr. Krabs is going to a reunion to meet his Navy buddies, so he digs up his old Navy chest so he can wear his uniform. Just as he's about to leave, his shell falls off. So to make an appearance—
Oh, I remember this episode. This was pretty weird altogether in this episode where, yeah, I mean, basically, the video explains. But it was just really weird seeing Mr. Krabs uncensored. It was a very weird episode for me, but just wanna make that statement.
he has SpongeBob put on his shell and pretend to be him. But he doesn't trust SpongeBob, so he goes to the event in secret. Surprisingly, SpongeBob actually does a pretty good job of pretending to be Krabs. He even receives a trophy from their former captain. But just as he's about to leave, he gets exposed. Krabs ends up coming to his rescue, but he's forced to show that he's not as strong as he used to be. However, everyone on the crew thinks he's manly for exposing himself, and the episode ends. It's a nice episode, has a great storyline and everything.
I mean, again, like, I just found it was kind of weird. And let me ask you something. How does Mr. Krabs' Navy buddies never, like, how can they distinct this for what Krabs looks like? I just don't understand. He's obviously not Mr. Krabs. Like, I don't understand his Navy crew. Obviously, if you can't remember somebody exactly what they look like, then they were never your buddy. But hey, you know, it's SpongeBob. Things are not supposed to be logically making sense throughout the whole entire series.
But sadly, it's entirely a lie. And this is because in Season 6, Episode 15, Grandpappy the Pirate, we get a clue about what Krabs' real job was. In the episode, Krabs reveals that his grandfather is a pirate. His grandfather influenced him when he was a baby, and so he ended up becoming a pirate and followed in his grandfather's footsteps. But after realizing that there's no money in piracy, he decided to fire his crew and sell the ship. After that, he opened the Krusty Krab. So here's a question, apart from his grandfather and himself, is anyone in the family a pirate, or are they kind of the oddballs in the family? Well,
I never thought about that, to be honest. Because, like, I think the grandpappy, I think that's the only time you see his grandfather. You never see, like, another crab, like a pirate. So it is really weird, but I'm gonna let this guy cook.
get an answer to that question in the episode Senior Discount. After fighting with Old Man Jenkins about elders, both of them try to get their older relatives who can overrule each other. In this montage, we see Krabs call his grandfather, his grandfather's father, and pretty much all of his ancestors. But the most interesting guy in the crowd is Krabs' great-great-great-grandfather. The guy is a hook for a hand and is clearly dressed like a pirate. It turns out he influenced his kid to become a pirate because Krabs' great-great-grandfather hated spending money, which was revealed in the episode Pest of the West.
My great-great-grandpappy Krabs invented the greatest thing since loose change, the spendthrift billfold system.
This led to Krabs' great-grandfather and his grandfather to become pirates, and eventually, because of them, Krabs became a pirate. But what about Krabs' dad? So it may come as a shock, but Krabs...
This is okay. From this point on, like these are new episodes. I have not seen the new SpongeBob episodes, and I will not watch the new SpongeBob episodes. I won't. I don't like new SpongeBob. Every time I see an episode where I used to, because I gave the show the try, like the newer seasons, and I was like, ah man, this is kind of garbage. SpongeBob is just not like what it used to be. If you're a 2000s kid, you'll understand the SpongeBob I'm talking about. But throughout the series, I never seen Mr. Krabs' dad. So interesting, like developing in other characters, and expanding the SpongeBob universe. So I don't know what's going on in this episode because I never seen it.
actually had a dad. In episodes like Senior Discount and Mamageddon, he had a pretty decent relationship with his son. But is he also a pirate? The short answer is yes.
What?
Basically, when Krabs was a kid in Friend or Foe, his father wasn't around. We know that his grandfather was on a ship when he was younger, so his father was probably away doing something like that. The point is that there's not much to say about the guy considering he's been in 2 episodes. But he probably was a pirate. This impact from his entire family led to Krabs wanting to continue the family business. After his grandfather influenced him when he was a baby, he started growing up and wanting to become a pirate. In the Camp Coral episode Camp Crossbones, Krabs would play pirate all day when he was a kid. And this pirate influence rubbed off on him because it still impacts how he acts as an adult. Like in the season 1 episode Arg, Krabs gets his hand on a pirate ship to find treasure. He even calls SpongeBob and Patrick his crew. But the biggest hint we get to Krabs' past is in season 3, episode 9, Wet Painters. Just looking at the stuff around his house, there's a ton of pirate related things. Like, why does Krabs have an image of a pirate? Also, why is the pirate human? There's also an image of a boat in the ocean.
Bro, what? I didn't think about that. Bro, I did not know there was a human pirate. I watched this episode so many times, and apparently this is like the most well-kept secret of Mr. Krabs. I mean, hence this video. But I haven't really thought about it. But there's a lot more hints than this episode is portraying. And it has, I mean, this is just one of the surface level conspiracy theories. I didn't know it. I didn't know he was a human pirate picture in Mr. Krabs. See, this is why I watch these videos, because people are like really good with like seeing the little detail things that make a huge conspiracy theories. That's why I'm watching this.
The interesting thing is there's a huge skull indicating that it's a pirate ship. He even has an image of a chest with the words "The Spot" written under it. He also has a hat with a skull on it. There's another map with a ship and an X. And the last pirate related thing is a map with a skull on it. If Krabs wasn't a pirate, why would he have all this stuff? It's not like his family comes to visit much considering they barely show up in the show. For Krabs to have all this stuff, he would actually have to care about it. And to do that, he has to be a pirate. So why would Krabs lie about being in the Navy? After all, Krabs revealed that pirates hate the Navy in the episode Pull Up a Barrel. Well, it's actually pretty simple. Being a pirate is illegal. Krabs' grandfather Redbeard is named after the very real and very illegal Blackbeard. But then what about the Navy meat and all of Krabs' Navy stuff? Is that all fake? Well, there's a simple way to explain all that. So remember Krabs' captain, the guy who gave SpongeBob the award in Shell of a Man? Well, there's someone who looks very similar to him. In the season 4 episode Whale of a Birthday, for a few frames, there's a picture behind Krabs. The fish
Oh, bro. Oh my gosh. That's the same dude that, oh my god, that's the same dude that gave the trophy to Mr. Krabs / SpongeBob. Bro, come on.
in the picture and the
God,
captain look
that's
awfully
crazy.
similar. They're both light blue,
Yeah.
they're both wearing a blue uniform, and they even both have that on their uniform. In fact, if you remove the eye patch and the hat, it just looks like the captain himself, just younger. In fact, we see the same picture 8 seasons later in the season 12 episode Kooky Cooks. For some reason, the fish is a different color, but that's not important in this episode. As Krabs throws his and Mrs. Puff's food, we see another picture of a pirate ship in his house. As the food melts the ship, a pirate in blue comes out of the ship. But wait, we've seen this blue uniform before in Krabs' Navy chest. What is a pirate doing wearing the same uniform? So it turns out that Krabs has been lying this entire time about being in the Navy. His Navy buddies and his captain were all pirates, and now they've disguised themselves to not go to jail.
So basically, right, Mr. Krabs, his buddies, his pirate buddies, basically were on the run from the law, and they were pirates, so they made new identities to become Navy so they can, basically not have to run away from the law. That makes more sense now. I mean, I feel like some parts are a stretch, but honestly, I don't know. He's cooking, though.
Even his own father dresses like a normal guy to hide from his past. But this isn't the only lie Krabs has been telling around town.
Krabs' other
So
lie.
if lying
Oh,
about
gosh,
his
okay.
past life wasn't enough, Krabs has started making up stories on how he invented the secret formula. In the season 5 episode Friend or Foe, he, Plankton, and Karen slowly reveal how Krabs accidentally invented the secret formula. But this completely goes against what Krabs said a season before in the episode Enemy-in-Law. After Plankton started dating Krabs' mother, he decided to confront him. While telling him to stay away from his mother, Krabs mentioned that the formula is an old Krabs family recipe.
Of course she does.
A lot of you might be wondering, why am I talking about Camp Coral?
Exactly.
It's not even canon.
For real,
There's
that's
so many
exactly that's
inconsistencies
exactly what I was talking about. That's so funny.
between the shows that it's not even worth mentioning. Well, the answers lie in the exact same episode. So looking at the episode, Mr. Krabs needs someone to help Plankton cook. After everyone leaves, he gets stuck with SpongeBob. But despite being a child, SpongeBob can cook really well. He uses a bunch of random ingredients to make dishes which Krabs obviously isn't a fan of. So to impress Krabs, SpongeBob makes a patty for a few pennies. Krabs loves the patty so much he gets rid of everything else on the menu. But Plankton is randomly convinced that he can use the burger to take over the world, so he tries to steal the secret formula. After a bit of a chase, the formula gets burned by Sandy's automatic campfire. It seems to be an accident until it's revealed that it was all part of Sandy's plan.
Yeah.
So here's the thing, if Camp Coral isn't canon, then how is Sandy talking to her younger self?
That's exactly what I was talking about. And the way they explain it, because I heard this theory before. I haven't watched this video, but I heard this theory, can't talk. I heard this theory before, and it's crazy how they intertwine. It gets in the weeds a bit.
This would mean that Camp Coral is in the past. Anyways, they continue talking and younger Sandy talks about how the plan worked. But listen carefully to what she says.
Your plan worked perfectly. The formula burned up before Mr. Plankton could nab it.
So this was all Sandy's plan? How did she know the formula was almost gonna get discovered?
Yeah.
Is this one of the cases where Sandy had to intervene in the past or the universe would explode or something? Well, sorta. As they continue talking, Sandy reveals something huge.
Good work, little Sandy. I knew sending you to Camp Coral was the right thing to do.
Just hear it one more time.
Good work, little Sandy. I knew sending you to Camp Coral was the right thing to do.
Wait, is Sandy the Camp Coral Sandy? Is she a clone? That was sent in the past, bro. That would be crazy if. I'm just gonna let the
Wait,
theory speak.
so
Yeah.
Sandy sent herself to Camp Coral? It may not seem like it, but we actually get a ton of information from this sentence. If Sandy sent herself to Camp Coral, it means that canonically, Camp Coral has to exist. Her
Yeah.
messing with the past led to a bunch of inconsistencies, but Camp Coral had to exist for herself to send her there. Also, in the special Creepaway camp, everyone from Camp Coral goes to a reunion. We even see all the exclusive Camp Coral characters all grown up. So, does this mean that SpongeBob discovered the formula? No. The thing you gotta remember is that SpongeBob used this formula long after it was actually invented. Despite whoever originally made it, it had to have been a long time ago, so SpongeBob didn't discover the formula. But there is something interesting that comes from this revelation. If Camp Coral is canon, then Mr. Krabs must have owned the camp. But how would he do that if he was being a pirate? Well, the easiest way to understand this is through Pearl. So it turns out when Krabs was a pirate, he didn't have Pearl. In fact, Mr. Krabs' own grandfather doesn't even know that he has a granddaughter. Considering the last time they met Krabs didn't have Pearl, it means that this is before Krabs opened Camp Coral. From Camp Coral, we know that when Mr. Krabs ran the place, Pearl was just a baby. This would mean that after being a pirate, Mr. Krabs opened Camp Coral to earn money. So if it wasn't SpongeBob who discovered the formula, then who? Well, it probably wasn't a bunch of pirates, but what about Mr. Krabs' mother? After all, Krabs claimed that she knew the formula in the episode Enemy-in-Law. But for the formula to be an old recipe, it would have to be made by some old relative. Unfortunately, we don't know anyone in her family, except one person. So in the entire show, we don't know anything about Mr. Krabs' mother's old family. But in the comic books, we learn about Mr. Krabs'.
We're getting very deep in the weeds. And all this the SpongeBob conspiracy theories that I have seen prior to this video, there's always like detail in like the SpongeBob books. I didn't even know SpongeBob had comic books. Okay, that's how detailed these theorists come up with. They go straight to like the exclusive comments or comics or books and like bonus feature episodes. It's insane how deep in the weeds these people go to. It's crazy. Watching this makes me exhausted. This would take a long time for me to conjure up for this dark conspiracy theory if I was doing this video. It's too much.
Uncle, who would be his mother's brother. Sadly, all we know is that the guy was an adventurer, so we can never truly figure out if it was an old Krabs family recipe. Well, actually, there's just one thing. See, when Krabs mentions the recipe, he calls it an old Krabs family recipe.
Of course he does. It's an
true.
old
He does
Krabs
mention
family
that.
recipe.
Now you
mention
have
that
to
throughout the
remember
show.
that Mr. Krabs' full name is Eugene Krabs. He got the name from the dad side of his family, meaning that all their last names are also Krabs. But what about Mr. Krabs' mother? From the episode Cracked Krabs, we know that not all Krabs have the last name Krabs. What the hell was that sentence? Well, from the same comic book, we figured out that her brother's last name was.
Oh my god, that's funny. I just heard that. Like it was like a 3-second delay. I'm like, oh my gosh. Not everybody in his family has the last name Krabs or something. Or I don't know. that was too funny.
Quarter Crab. She probably had the same last name, meaning she didn't create the formula, and Krabs lied about it being an old Krabs family recipe to throw Plankton off. Krabs has been living a secret life as a former sailor to throw off the police. His reality of being a pirate has been hidden from the public. Only SpongeBob, Patrick, and Squidward know the truth. He also lied about the formula being an old Krabs family recipe to throw Plankton off. Krabs truly is a bad guy. So that's the video. I hope you guys liked it. I'll see y'all in the next one.
No, there's gonna be a twist.
Perfectly. The formula burned up before Mr. Plankton could nab it. Now it can be safely rediscovered in the future. Now it can be safely rediscovered in the future.
Holy crap. Okay. I knew we weren't done in this video. A lot of theorists like to do the twist. Okay, guys, that's the end of it. Boom! Mr. Krabs actually made the recipe and then died, and Sandy had to retrieve his body in the Krabby Patty form. I don't know. I'm just BSing. I'm trying to example how these theories work, which I love.
Originally, I was gonna call the theory right there, but there was something that kept throwing me off, so I just had to come back. In the Camp Coral episode Kitchen Sponge, when Sandy's talking to herself, young Sandy says something really confusing. She mentions that the formula can be safely rediscovered in the future. Krabs made the formula when he was a kid, and SpongeBob made the formula when Krabs was an adult. What does she mean by it can be rediscovered in the future? At first, I just assumed it's younger Sandy, it's a child, she probably doesn't even know what she's saying. But this is the same girl who built a time machine by herself in the episode PL1413, so maybe she's not a complete idiot. But then, what does she mean by the future? Well, we have to understand that because Sandy talked to her younger self, she messed up the timeline, which led to SpongeBob getting the formula. So she sent her younger self to Camp Coral to make sure Plankton doesn't get his hands on it. But here's the question. If Sandy stopped the formula from being discovered in the past, how did she know it would accidentally be discovered in the first place? How did she know to send her younger self to Camp Coral to destroy the formula? Well, this is where it gets a bit harder to understand, so I'll use something similar to make it easier. So in the movie back—
Oh no, you know there's a complicated scientific time machine like a explanation. You know it's gonna be like deeper in the weeds when you have to use a movie back from the future to explain something when it comes to time machine talks.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
messes up his parents meeting each other, meaning he and his siblings would never be born. In a similar way, Sandy talked to her past self, which led to young SpongeBob discovering the formula and Plankton using it to take over the world. So she sent her younger self to fix everything, like how Marty asked younger Doc to help him get back to 1985. This led to a series of changes that were never supposed to happen, like Sandy going to Camp Coral. It's similar to how when Marty left, Biff controlled his dad, but when he came back, because his dad punched Biff, everything changed. So to recap, Sandy invented time travel and talked to her younger self. But because of something she did with the past, the timeline got messed up and it meant that Plankton would take over the world using SpongeBob's formula. So she went to the past, asking her younger self to go to Camp Coral to destroy the formula. This restored everything and the formula would be discovered the way it was supposed to be. But because Sandy messed with the past, the timeline got messed up and Sandy, despite meeting SpongeBob when they were adults, met him when they were kids. But what about the future? Why did young Sandy talk about it? Well, listen carefully to what she says.
Now it can be safely rediscovered in the future.
I think when she says rediscovering, she's talking about Krabs. Let me explain. So we know that Krabs invented the Krabby Patty's secret formula, but after knowing people liked the burger, he still didn't open the restaurant, and this reveals that Krabs' main motive was never to open the Krusty Krab. After all, he and Plankton made burgers to get money and become popular during school. Krabs always cared about being a pirate more than anything else, but after realizing that being a pirate doesn't bring in the money, Krabs decided to pursue something else. But instead of opening the—
So basically, Mr. Krabs longed to be a pirate, didn't work out, it flopped completely. So he decided to open up a summer camp to make money. But then again, in Camp Coral, oh my god, I can't speak today. In Camp Coral, those are those rich people. I don't know if you guys seen the show. There's like these rich fish that have their like mansion in the camp. Could they be paying and like giving Mr. Krabs money in order to like keep his business alive? And maybe that's why he opened up a summer camp, because of those rich people?
He opened a summer camp and had a child. This reveals that by this point, Krabs had forgotten about his success in making patties, but he would be reminded when SpongeBob made a cheap patty and he ate it. This led him to eventually make the Krusty Krab. This would mean that because Sandy time traveled, Mr. Krabs discovered the Krusty Krab. So to recap, Krabs lied about being in the Navy to hide his pirate past. He's also making up stories so people don't figure out that the restaurant was made because of a student in his camp. He does this to avoid the law, but also to seem superior. He wants everyone to believe that he's a genius for coming up with the formula.
So that's gonna be it for today's video. I don't know. I actually like this theory with his past life, or his life was a lie, his actual life and identity. But regardless, I thought that was a pretty good video. So let me know what you guys think of this video. Let me know if you guys want me to do another SpongeBob conspiracy theory, or you guys want me to venture out to watch other cartoon theories. Guys, let me know in the comments what you guys think of this video. I'm going to put the link in the description below, so you guys can check it out for yourselves, and his other YouTube channel. So with that being said, guys, if you like this video and enjoy my previous content on this channel, make sure to leave a like and push that subscribe button to be, and that bell. Push that bell so you can be notified once a video comes out. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Have an awesome, wonderful day, and I'll see you guys in the next video.